The Saucony Endorphin Edge is a neutral trail shoe packed with PWRRUNPB cushioning and a Carbitex carbon fiber plate to help propel you forward. With grip for rugged terrain, is the Saucony Endorphin Edge the only trail racing shoe you will need? Well, that depends. Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. First, I need to let you know that Saucony did send the Endorphin Edge to me to review. I didn't pay for the shoes. They're not going to see this footage ahead of time. They're not going to approve the video. I'm going to say the honest truth, just like always. As always, we're going to start out talking about some stats of the Endorphin Edge. First off, it is a neutral trail running shoe, just like I said. It has a little bit of twist, but that carbon fiber plate inside is giving it some rigidity, that is for sure. I mean, you can see it's a little stiff. As for the stack height of the Endorphin Edge, it comes in at 35 millimeters in the rear, 29 millimeters in the front for a 6 millimeter drop. When it comes to weight, it's pretty nice. So men's size 11, threw it on the scale, weighed in at 9.9 ounces or 282 grams. That is a pretty darn good weight for a shoe with this much stack height, this much foam, the carbon fiber plate inside. It's pretty lightweight. Gosh, I am getting my table filthy. The shoe is dirty. Another cool thing about the Endorphin Edge is it is actually sustainably made with vegan and recycled materials. As far as fit, it is true to size. Men's size 11, just like the other Saucony shoes, fits the same. So if you're whatever size you're in other Sauconys, should be fine with these. But before we get any further, scroll down, click that thumbs up button, give it a like. It would be awesome. Helps me out, helps the channel out, and I would really appreciate it. Moving on to the upper of the Endorphin Edge. It is a lightweight mesh upper with a higher absorption rate and faster evaporation. It does help your foot stay cool and dry on the trails. In my testing, I've used it in the dead of summer where it was very humid. My foot stayed plenty cool. It was fine. It's a pretty decently breathable shoe. In the wintertime, it's not been that big of an issue either. It does breathe, so my feet were a little cooler, but you know, wear a good pair of socks and it works out just fine. Speaking of that breathability though, let's take a look at the tissue test. When I put the tissue in, flipped the hairdryer on low, it came up, you know, a pretty decent amount. When I put it on high though, that tissue went way up, stayed up. I mean, just showing you visibly that it is very breathable. So if you live in a hot environment, this is a fantastic shoe. One thing to bring up as well, the Endorphin Edge is made from the same last as the Saucony Exodus Ultra. So if you like the way that fits your foot, you're gonna like the way this fits as well. It fits really comfortably, very nice. The upper is very comfortable. There's no really abrasive points on the toes. The toe box is plenty wide. It actually felt pretty accommodating for my foot, which, you know, I have a standard width foot. It's not a wide foot. But with that said, it felt fine, plenty of room for normal feet. If you do have a wide foot, this might not work for you, and unfortunately they do not sell it in a wide. On the front of the shoe, you can kind of see there's a clear mud guard that helps with durability, also helps keep a little bit of that moisture out of the foot. And running through snow, it worked decently. You know, my foot stayed dry. The tongue on the Endorphin Edge is pretty thin. However, with that said, it has really the perfect amount of padding. Unless you're really gonna cinch those laces down super tight, it provides plenty of protection from those laces. I've not had any issues. I like to tie my laces pretty tight and keep a nice secure fit over the top of the foot, and I've not had any discomfort. The tongue is also semi-gusseted on both sides, helps it from moving around a little bit. And if you look down in the front of the lacing system, you can see there is a gaiter attachment. It's not the normal one that Saucony's put on, which is like a metal clip. This is almost like a webbed mesh material, probably to save some weight. The lacing system does work well on the Endorphin Edge. I was able to get a secure fit in the heel, had no heel slippage at all. The padding in the heel cup is it's minimal, it's thinner, but I will say, I had no issues with discomfort. I went on a 20-mile long run where 10 miles of that was all uphill, like the entire way. And I had no heel slippage, no discomfort at all. On the way back down, bombing down that mountain road, it felt fine also. So good lockdown, good comfort. You know, the heel counter, it's pretty flimsy as you can see there. It bends in well, but like I said, it's a good lockdown. You can do the runner's knot if you need to. I should mention too that that mud guard does actually go all the way to the back. So if you are in, you know, snow up to about here, you're probably gonna be okay. Or splashing through some puddles, it might help keep you dry also. One other comment about the fit of the Endorphin Edge. I mentioned it is the same last of the Exodus Ultra, but this one feels a little bit more, I'd say a little bit more like a road shoe almost versus a trail shoe, but it does fit and hold securely for those trails. But it's got a lot of comfort to it. So if you're gonna be bombing down some mountain roads, perfect shoe for that. Now the really fun part of the Endorphin Edge, and that is the midsole. It's the ultra lightweight PWRRUNPB, those expanded beads. It's the same midsole foam as the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3 and the, I don't have my Pro 3s here, but same foam, fantastic. And it just feels so great on long runs. When I was going on that 20-mile run I talked about, on the way back down, 10 miles, pounding down, just so much comfort underfoot, felt amazing, no fatigue at all. On the way up the mountain, Again, that response from the PWRRUN PB was awesome. I love this foam. And inside there's also a sock liner that is PWRRUN PB also, so even another layer of that awesome stuff. To make that midsole foam even better, Saucony has paired it with the Carbitex Mono-Flex Plate. So there is a carbon fiber plate inside the shoe. It's a little different than a road shoe. It's actually a 3/4 length plate design, so it doesn't go the entire length of the shoe. It goes to maybe about in this area here, and that's to allow a little more adaptable heel strike in varied terrain. On paper, it sounds amazing on the trails. In reality, it's a little different. When I tested the Endorphin Edge on the rocky, rooty trails of Tennessee, you know, the Beast Coast, it was, quite frankly, horrible. I think I did like a 4-mile run, and I said I would probably never wear the shoes again. I rolled my ankles probably 3 or 4 times, and it's just, that carbon fiber plate, it works, it gives you propulsion, but laterally, it just made my ankles roll. It was not stable on that type of terrain. However, the Endorphin Edge is absolutely amazing on Colorado dirt roads, gravel roads, anywhere you're at where there's a dirt road. These things are absolutely amazing. That carbon fiber plate works. It gives you that propulsion, that midsole foam. It's fantastic. Quite simply, it's perfect in that type of environment. As for the durability of the midsole, you're probably looking at least 400 miles. That PWRRUN PB lasts pretty well. So yeah, I'd say at least 400 miles. As for the outsole of the Endorphin Edge, it is Saucony's Power Track rubber, and it's a pretty decent compound. Saucony uses it on just about all of their trail shoes. It's great in snow, it's great on dry, dusty trails. It's great when it's wet a little bit. But if you're gonna be on a trail or race, whatever it is, where there's a hard surface, maybe it's granite rock or whatever it may be, this is quite slippery. So use caution for sure. It's definitely not the shoe I would choose if I was gonna be doing some rock hopping or going through creek beds. However, like I said, dry trails, dusty roads, whatever, this is great. Plenty of traction. It even works really well in the snow, gave me good traction. The lugs are 4 millimeters in depth, and you can see they're spaced apart pretty well. It did cake up with mud just a little bit when that snow started to melt and make that red dirt road a little bit muddy. But it worked pretty decently. On the other side of that Power Track rubber is a full-length rock guard. You can actually kind of see it through here, and that's to help give you a little bit of protection underfoot. Coming down that mountain I was talking about, 10 miles all downhill, there were definitely some rocks, some gravel. I had no issues with them poking through the feet at all. My feet were plenty protected. I mean, combine that with that midsole foam, it felt great. As for the price of the Endorphin Edge, it's up there a little bit. It's $200 US. Is it worth it? Well, it depends really. If you're somebody looking for that extra oomph in a race that's on like a dirt road, mountain road, something like that, then yeah, it might be. But otherwise, you might want to look at some of the other Saucony trail shoes out there. There are other ones out there that have the PWRRUN PB midsole, but don't have the Carbitex carbon fiber plate. But with that said, it is a pricey shoe. So the bottom line, if you were looking for a trail shoe for your trail races, I wouldn't really use this for daily training, but if you're looking for a trail racing shoe for dirt roads, buffed out trail, I mean super buffed out trails, and you want that extra oomph, then yeah, this shoe is gonna be awesome for you. If you're somebody that's maybe from the Beast Coast or running on rocky, rooty terrain, I would steer clear of this unless you have steel ankles. It's just incredibly unstable over technical terrain. So let everybody know down below in the comments, this shoe's been out for a little while now. If you've experienced it, if you've tried the Endorphin Edge, what your thoughts are. Let everybody know what type of trails you've worn them on, whether it's roads or crushed gravel or even a technical trail. Everybody I'm sure would love to hear those comments and see if maybe this might be the shoe for them. Well, that is gonna do it for the Endorphin Edge review. I hope it was helpful, and if so, please do not forget to give the video a thumbs up. That does help out a lot. And since we mentioned it a few times in this video, why don't you go ahead and take a look at the Saucony Exodus Ultra review on your screen. Fantastic shoe. And also on the other side, we'll put up a playlist of other Saucony shoes to check out also. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you on the next one.